皆さん、英語のそーたです。
Hey everyone, it's Sean.
Hey Sean, did you see the questionnaire I posted on Instagram?
Yeah, there's some really good questions on there.
Yeah.
Any feedback I think is really helpful, but I think you chose some really good questions. Things that I was curious about as well. So, yeah. So what kind of things did we get?
Yeah, it was about our show. So we asked if everyone is satisfied with the length or the balance, voice balance.or English-Japanese balance, things like that. So let me briefly share what I've got on Instagram stories.
Yeah.
So first of all, thank you so much for your cooperation, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
はい、僕のインスタグラム英語のソータにて最近番組に関するアンケートを取らせていただいたんですね。皆さんご協力いただいた方本当にありがとうございました。クエスチョンとして2択のアンケートをくっつけまして僕が最近気になっていたことについて、アンケート取らせていただきました。その結果を少しだけ皆さんにもシェアさせていただきたいんですけれども、まずは一つ目、スペルの時間が必要か不要かに関してなんですけれども、必要が 65%、不要 35% ということで、今後も引き続きスペリングに関しては続けていこうかなと思ってます。やっぱり続けてほしいという方のお声がすごく多かったので、この件に関しては1名の方でも続けてほしい、続けてもらえないと英語学習がしづらいというお声があるからには続けていくべきかなと思いましたので続けていくんですが、ピックアップする頻度であったりその単語の難易度であったりという部分はもう少し僕も気をつけていきたいなと思っています。貴重なコメントありがとうございました。そして次は日本語と英語のバランスいかがですかと、今がちょうどいいかもう少し英語を多くしてほしいかということで、ちょうどいいが 59%、 もう少し英語多くが 41% ということで、これに関してはもう少し英語を多くしてほしいというお声が半数近くあるということは、僕ももう少し英語を多くしないといけないなと思いましたので、進行していく上で英語を増やすとその分また訳さないといけなくなって番組自体が長くなっちゃうので、毎回全部を増やせるわけではないんですけれども、なるべく英語の量を多く入れるように進行する心がけというものも持って頑張っていきたいなと思います。こちらもありがとうございます。そして音質や声のトーンはいかがでしょうかということで、少しだけ基本的には音はバッチシで聞きやすいということが大半で、問題なし 94%、 問題あり 6% だったんですけれども、具体的詳細としてショーンの声が少しだけ小さいということだったので、その情報共有もしまして、今日ショーンはめちゃくちゃ元気に He will be so excited でしょ
Yeah.
はい、あとはマイクのね、そのボイスレベルも変えましたので、少し改善できていると嬉しいなと思います。今日はめちゃくちゃショーンが元気に話してくれることを楽しみに聞いていきたいなと思ってます。そしてあともう少しだけ番組の長さなんですけれども、1時間ぐらいがいいか30分ぐらいがいいかどちらがいいでしょうということで、これも結構半々でしたね。長いのが 55%、 短いのが 45% だったので、なるべく交互にできるようには心がけていきたいなと思うんですが、カットすることによって大切な情報が短くなってはいけないので、長くなることもあると思うんですけれども、なるべく交互にする努力はしていきます。そして最後に、番組の進行速度はいかがですか？今の速さをご希望かもう少しゆっくりかということで、 77% の方が今の速さを希望で 23% の方がゆっくり希望ということで、僕も一ポッドキャストユーザーとして高校2年生から聞いていたので、ゆっくりな番組ってちょっと集中力切れちゃうなって印象があるので、なるべく止まらずあえて早口で話すようにしてるんですね。そこに関しては皆さんご満足いただけているようだったんですが、ちょっと早いよっていうお声もあったということは、なるべく説明しないといけないところは落ち着いて説明をする努力もしていきたいなと思っております。これで大体のねアンケートは結果が出ましたので、いろいろとスペルに関してであったり、いろんなコメントいただいていて、皆さんのお声を取り入れた上で結果的にどういうふうに進行していくのかというのは今シェアさせていただきましたので、ご協力ありがとうございました。そしてご理解もいただければと思います。
Just to give some feedback from English speakers' perspective as
Okay.
well. So, I read all of the kind of feedback that you posted on Instagram as well. And I think it's really important to listen to what our listeners are saying and also find that balance. So, in terms of spelling, I know that some people listen to the podcast at home with their notebooks and they make notes. But then we have other listeners who maybe listen on the train, so they can't write down the spellings or anything.
Right.
So in that respect, I think it's about 50-50, right? Yeah, with the sound quality, like as you know, I spent a long time trying to find the balance.
Yeah, thank you.
But I think a lot of it is also to do with that Nate had a very kind of almost nasal or very kind of high tone voice, whereas mine is a lot lower, like a bass. So I think depending on what people listen to the podcast on, so if they listen to it on their phone or if they listen to it on the TV or with headphones, that's going to always change the volume and things too. But today, for example, like we've kind of tweaked it a little bit to make the high tones a little bit higher. So there might be a difference there. But yeah, I think everything else was pretty much spot on, right? Like, I mean, the episode length, it's important to keep the episodes short and sweet, but also if it's a difficult topic, then we might need to kind of push it to that 1 hour limit. And then obviously if we talk about a difficult topic, you're going to have to do more translation, which increases the amount of Japanese. So I think it is really hard to find the perfect balance, but I think overall, I think we do a good job, right?
yeah, I think so too. But I think I need to be more careful of how I talk and how much I speak Japanese or things like that. So yeah, I'll be careful.
Did you get any comments about like your Osaka Ben?
Oh yeah, I did. So please speak more Osaka Ben.
Oh, that's great. That's good, yeah.
Yes. Can you spell nasal?
Nasal?
ここにもね、早速ですけれども。
Nasal, N-A-S-A-L.
はい、鼻声っていう意味なので、ネイトはもう少し声が鼻声っぽかったのでっていう時に出てましたね。こんな感じでもう少し難しい単語をね、僕ピックアップすべきだなっていうのも皆さんのね、アンケート結果から学ばせていただいたので、そこも意識しつつ、で、ショーンもこうちょっと声をこう上げてくれたりとか、あとはこう聞く機会によったりとか、イヤホンによって少し聞こえ方って変わったりするのかなっていうのもあるので、今そのお話があったので、僕たちも頑張ってまたいい番組を作っていきたいなと思ってますし、その間のアンケートに英語のソータのこと好きですか？はい、好きです。レオピの方が好きですっていうアンケートもシェアしたんですけど、なんと結果綺麗に真半分 50%50% で、これはもう僕としてはレオピにいっぱい入れてほしかったんですけど、結果的に面白いので、でも皆さんの愛を感じました。と同時にレオピ好きな人こんないるんだなっていうのが感じられましたので、このアンケートの結果は全て僕の英語のソータの、ストーリーのハイライトに残しておきますので、コメントもいろいろシェアしましたので、ご覧になりたい方はぜひフォローしに来てください。So Sean, are you ready?
I'm ready.
ソータと
Sean の
台本なし英会話レッスン
Episode 157.
Okay, what is the topic for episode 157, Sean?
Today's topic is my way of making friends.
はい、今回のお題はショーンの友達作りの方法ということなんですけれども、こちらのお題はインスタグラム英語のソータにてひよっこさんからいただきました。ひよっこさんありがとうございます。ショーンさんが日本に来てどのように友達を作ったのかぜひ話してほしいですと、少し短いリクエストなんですけれどもいただいております他にもいただいてた内容として、ショーンのその友達作りだけではなく、日本に来てどうやって生活しているのかとか、日本に来てどう思ってますかとか、結構そういうコメントたくさんあったんですよね。ですが、その中でも特にお友達の作り方っていう部分にフォーカスを当てると面白いかなと思ったので、今回はこの番組で進行していきたいなと思います。そして皆さんリクエストいつでも受けたまわっていますので、最近は台本なし英会話レッスンの専用アカウントも出来上がっています。特にそちらに残していただくと結構記録として残りやすいので分かりやすいのと、先日のビーガンのお題であったり、いろんなお題に関して本当にいろんな視野からのコメントいただいていて、僕自身もショーン自身もすごく勉強になっていて、皆さんもぜひいろいろコメント見ながら、こういう見方もあるんだなというふうに番組外で楽しんでいただけたらなと思います。So I got a request from Hiyoko-san on Instagram. So she and a lot of people are interested in how's your life in Japan.
Yeah.
So especially she wants to know how to make friends. And some people said, I want to know how Sean is living in Japan and how he feels about Japan. So, let's include everything, but especially let's focus on making friends.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of people request about my life in Japan and how it is for me to live in Japan. But I think,
so today he will be a discussion leader.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. So today it's going to be
facilitator.
me. Yeah, I'm going to be the facilitator taking over.
Yes. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, so I think, a lot of people are very interested in my life in Japan in general because they want to know how foreigners live in Japan and how easy it is or difficult. So I think that's a really big topic in itself. But yeah, like you said, today we're going to focus mainly on making friends. So I guess, I could start with how I made friends in Japan and then how that related to making friends back in England, maybe?
Okay, yeah, it's up to you.
Okay, sure. So yeah, before I came to Japan, I was very worried about, being by myself. 6,000 miles away from England, all of my family and friends are back home, so you're essentially starting from zero. You don't know anybody, and you don't have any friends, so how do you go about building those friendships? So for me, the first kind of 2 weeks that I was in Japan when I first arrived, it was very much just trying to get used to my surroundings. So once I'd unpacked all of my furniture and my apartment was kind of ready to go, that's when I went outside into my local area and just walked around for 2 or 3 hours just exploring the area. The main reason I did that was so that I could see if there were any like cafes or bars or any kind of restaurants or something that kind of caught my eye or caught my attention. So I would put them into my Google Maps with a little green flag to say, check out this place at some point. So once I'd done that, after about a week, I opened up my Google Maps and I had, 100 of these little green flags of places that I could go to. And then I knew that if I went to those places, I'm obviously going to meet other people. If it's a bar, if it's a cafe or whatever. So for me, the first stop on my list was a game bar that did like retro video games. So I knew that I was into video games, so I thought maybe I would meet like-minded people.
On the first day?
This was after being in Japan for 2 weeks. So I'd explored the area and I knew where everything was, And I found this bar and I thought, okay, I'm just going to go there by myself, which is very scary, But, you have to have that confidence. You have to take that initiative to be like, okay, I'm going to do it by myself. I went to the bar by myself and, sat down, Tein-san, irashai, kind of thing. And I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'll sit here, And I sat at the bar and I had a Super Famicom game, Super Nintendo. And behind me on one of the tables, there was a group of 5 Japanese guys having an amazing time. And they were playing like a board game. And they were laughing and cheering and drinking and stuff. And I was just sat there by myself just playing video games, And at that moment, I had the choice of 2 things. I could either carry on keeping myself to myself and just playing this video game, or I could turn around and say, hey, what are you guys doing? That looks like fun. Can I join? So it took a lot of confidence.
Wow.
And so as I turned around to kind of face the guys that were playing the board game, one of them kind of caught my eye. He looked at me and he kind of did this gesture of like, hey, come over here. Obviously in Japanese, I can't show you on the podcast because it's audio only, but how in Japan the gesture is like you put your fingers facing down and you kind of wave them towards you.
Yes, oide.
Yeah. That kind of gesture, right? So in Western culture, that could be kind of
go away.
Yeah, like the opposite, like go away. So he did this gesture, and I thought, oh, is he telling me to turn back around? But then I noticed that he was smiling and laughing, and he was saying, like, come here, come here. I was like, oh, okay. So then I joined them. And just like that, in that one instance of me just turning around to see what people were doing, I instantly made 5 friends. So.
I see. Wow, so long experience.
Sorry, yeah.
I'll translate so far.
Yeah.
なるほどね。ごめん、ちょっと、すごい、めっちゃ元気に話してるから、he was so excited. ちょっと途中で今カットインしちゃった形なんですけど、to be continued っていう感じで、続くっていう感じで今一旦止めたんですけれども、そう、まず、ショーンが、こう日本に来てから、こう、コツとして多分結論からまとめると、自分から話しかけていくことが大切っていうことだと思うんですよね。で、本当にまず来た時はもう右も左もわからない不安で、やっぱりこう怖い感情もあったみたいなんですけれども、まずショーンがやったことは Google マップでカフェであったり、主にバーだったかな、bars ですね。
Yeah, bars, cafes, restaurants, anywhere people are.
なるほど。っていうのを基本的にパッと調べて、全部バーって出てくるところを見て、最初に、ショーンの、caught my eye って言ってましたね。Can you spell it?
Caught, C-A-U-G-H-T.
はい、キャッチの過去形ですね。caught my eye っていう形を使うと、こう目を引く、あるいは attention っていうのも使ってましたね。Can you spell it? 一応。
Attention, A-T-T-E-N-T-I-O-N.
はい、これ結構使えますよね。なんとか caught my attention あるいは eye っていう形で自分の注意を引く、自分の目を引いてきたっていうような形で使えるんですけれども、パッと自分の目を引いてきたのはそのゲームバーっていうことですね。
Yeah.
なんか最近さ、ちょっと前にそうたここ行こうって言って、なんか he sent me the picture of the bar, right?
Yeah, but obviously with coronavirus at the moment, we can't go anywhere. But yeah, once it's finished, we'll go there together.
そう、多分その写真だよね。すぐ送ってくれて、ゲームがいっぱいあるバーに、行こうと思ったと。で、そこに行って、ショーンがこう迷ったこととして、まずはこう自分で一人でゲームをするか、その後ろにすごく楽しそうにゲームをしてる集団がいたらしいんですね、日本人の。
I'll show you a picture.
写真ね。これね、今、1、2、3、4、5名。この写真ぜひポスト on Instagram。いいね。そう、後ろで、こう、楽しそうにしてる人たちがいたと。で、ショーの中で、このまま一人でゲームをするか、後ろの人に話しかけるかどうしようって迷った結果、まずは話しかけたということでしたね。その時に出てた単語として、Initiative. Can you spell it?
Initiative. No, I can't spell it. Sorry, because I was too busy looking for the photo. Initiative. I-N-I-T-I-A-T-I-V-E.
はい。皆さんこういうことですよね。こういう単語をもっとピックアップせえっていうのを多分皆さんおっしゃってたんだろうなってアンケートを見て思いましたので、そう、なるべく僕も、僕はI am スポンジなので、僕全部何でも吸収するタイプなので、なるべくこういう難しい単語もね、拾っていくようにしますが、日本語で訳すと主導権みたいな感じですかね。なので、ショーンとして、こうちゃんと自分で、こう勇気を持って自分から行くっていうそのイニシアティブを持つようにして話しかけたと。でその結果、その人がおいでおいでって日本人がこうやるジェスチャーって上から下日本おいでってやるじゃないですか。あれが海外では go away の向こう行けってあっち行けになるっていうのをよく聞く。これは例の違いでジェスチャーの違いで、ショーもそれをされた時にあれ向こう行けっていうことなのかなと思ったらしいんですけど、よく見てみると笑ってくれてるからっていうことで近づいていって、そこからこうまずは友達関係パート1みたいなものが始まったということですね。ここからどういう風になっていくのかはまだ聞いていきたいなと思うんですが。
Yeah, so that would be my first piece of advice.
Can you do more spellings? Sorry.
Sure, yeah.
Surroundings.
Surroundings. S-U-R-R-O-U-N-D-I-N-G-S.
はい。こう自分の周り、 なんて言ったか get used to my surroundings
That's right.
って言
Yeah,
ったか
yeah.
な
Get used to my surroundings. Yeah.
自分のその周りの環境に慣れるためにっていう時に get used to これで慣れるっていう意味ですが、そこに surroundings がついて周りの環境に慣れるっていう意味で、使われてましたね、あと explore これでまあ冒険するっていう意味ですけれども、結構歩き回るとかあちこちこう探検するっていう意味でも使えるので、Can you spell it?
Explore. E-X-P-L-O-R-E.
はい、これで冒険する、探検するって意味ですね。僕さ、I'm doing something, for the first time.
What's that?
Taking notes, like spelling words.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
僕今までね、こうメモ番組、so when we were recording, I've never taken notes, right?
Yeah, true.
そう話してる時僕一切メモ今まで取ったことないんですよ。ずーっとそのままもう頭で覚えて情報を覚えてってしてたんですけど、難しい単語拾わなきゃと思って今日初めて携帯でメモしてるんですけど、when I'm taking notes, I tend to forget what you're talking about.
I see.
そう売ってる時にさ、ショーンなんて言ってたっけ、最初さ、グリーンフラッグスって言ったじゃん。
Yes, that's right.
グリーンフラッグスこれ何の話やったんやろってついていけてなかったよね。なのでやっぱメモって難しいなと思うんですけど、ちょっとこんな感じで頑張りながら今日は、新しい試みでやっていくので、結局メモをやめるってなるかもしれないですけど、ちょっと皆さんお付き合いいただければなと思います。So, chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
何ごめん。What's up?
No, it's funny like that you're making notes like
Yes.
for the first time. So yeah, my first piece of advice would be two pieces of advice actually there. The first one is to take the initiative and to involve yourself in whatever it is,
Take initiative.
Going to the bar or going to a cafe or going out, right? If you're just staying at home, you're not going to make friends, right?
Right.
You have to go out. You have to step outside. And the second thing would be to smile. If you this applies to bars, it applies to parties. If you are even in a small group, if just you and your friend or you and two other friends, if you're smiling and laughing and having a good time, other people at that party or other people at that bar are going to notice you. And they're going to go, hey, what are those guys talking about? Why are those guys having so much fun, right? And you kind of attract people to you by having a good time. So don't go to a bar or restaurant with the idea in your head of, I need to make friends, because that's not going to work, right? Go to the bar or restaurant or whatever, have a good time, enjoy yourself, smile and laugh. Other people will just naturally be drawn to you for that. Like,
Makes sense.
Those guys at the game bar, they were playing Jisei game. And like, I'm more interested in video games, so I was focusing on that. But they were having such a good time, I turned round and paid attention to them. So I joined them, right?
Yeah, right after I started traveling abroad, there is one thing I've noticed, which is smiling.
Yeah.
So in Japan, when we are walking down the street, people don't usually smile. But in overseas, people are kind of always smiling. And when, somebody caught my eyes, they, say sometimes hello to me and sometimes smile. So, having the face, like smiling face, would be really important to make friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you just stand there and look miserable in the corner, nobody's going to want to hang out with you, so.
Yeah, so when I travel abroad, I tend to make some friends. That's because probably I'm smiling, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
はい。なので、まず2つのポイントが出てきましたね。takeもうね、
Initiative.
ちょっと発音難しいですけれども、自分から主導権を握って、自分から行動していくっていうところと、あともう一つはしっかり笑うこと。外に出てちゃんと笑うことと、友達作らなきゃと思ってバーに行くのではなく、バーに行って楽しい時間を過ごそう、笑おうってしてると人が自然と寄ってくるっていうお話でしたね。結構海外に行って僕気づいたことが、海外の人って道歩いてる時にすごい笑ってたりするんですよね。でパッて目合った時に僕たちって見ちゃダメだと思ってパッて目をそらしちゃうんですけど、逆で海外の方々って目合ったらニコって笑ってくれる方すごい多くて、その笑顔っていうのは確かに大切なことかもしれませんね。Okay, so?
So yeah, I mean, kind of connected to that point as well. The reason that I chose the game bar was because I have a genuine interest in video games, right? If you want to make friends, authentic friends that you know that you will get along well with, it's important to be authentic to yourself, right? You need to find hobbies and activities that you genuinely enjoy, because then when you show that enthusiasm or that passion or that love for whatever that hobby or activity is, other people that also have that same passion will also, feed off your energy. So it's really important to have that authenticity and being authentic to yourself, I think.
Oh, should I translate it?
I think
here?
it's a little bit difficult, yeah. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
まず genuine, can you spell it? 難しい。Oh, you said genuine interest.
Oh, genuine, yeah. Genuine, Genuine, genuine
はい
interest.
本物のっていう意味ですね。なので、ショーンが本当に興味があるもの、もう根っこからのっていうようなニュアンスが、real よりももっとなんかこう深い感じが genuine っていう単語なので、それはゲームだと。で、authentic friends って言ってましたが、can you spell it?
Authentic. Authentic.
これもなんか本物の real friends みたいな本物のあれは信頼できるっていうような、言葉ですね。なので自分の本当の興味に従って、そして自分の本当に信頼できそうな仲間を探すこと、そうすることによって enthusiastic or enthusiasm、これちょうどさ、先月の発音レッスン出たわけさ、
Yeah.
enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm, yeah.
Yeah, can you spell it?
Enthusiasm or enthusiastic?
Stick.
That's thick.
enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
enthusiastic、発音皆さん難しいですけど頑張ってくださいね。これも
enthusiastic, yeah.
passionate よりももっとこう熱意のある、こう自分が情熱をすごい注げるものだったり、同じこうレベルでの、情熱を持ってる人を探すことが大切と、そのためには、自分の genuine interest だったりとか authentic friends を探すという意味で自分の本当に興味があるものを探す。 So your point was、trying to look for something genuine.
Yes, genuine things that you feel passionate about and enthusiastic about, and other people will kind of feed off that energy, right?
So what's the thing you can be enthusiastic about?
So my first one was obviously the game bar. I had a lot of fun there. So I had a really good time and made 5 new friends straight away after being in Japan for 2 weeks, right? So I thought, okay, so what are my other hobbies and interests? So my other hobbies, things that I'm into, are pro wrestling.
Oh.
So I thought, okay, I'm going to go to a pro wrestling match, and I had to, book a ticket in Japanese by myself. And 5 years ago, I couldn't speak any Japanese, so that was very difficult. But I knew that by challenging myself to put myself in an environment where I felt uncomfortable because I couldn't speak the language, that I would have to force myself to try and speak Japanese, even if it was broken Japanese or just vocabulary, just single vocabulary. I knew that would help me to make friends and also improve my Japanese skill. So my first Japanese pro wrestling event, I had no idea what was going on. I got my ticket, and the ticket had the seat number and the row number. And I don't know if you've been to like any kind of sports event, but usually they have like north, east, south, west.
Yeah, I do.
You know that, right? And then they have like the rows, and then they have the seat number. But obviously that's all in kanji on the ticket. So I'm like, Minami, and okay, so this is south, okay. And so I'm walking around like stupid lost gaijin with this ticket. And this random Japanese guy just came up to me. He was like, 大丈夫ですか? I was like, boku no seat はなんだっけ席がわからないです. And he was like, なるほどね. And he took my ticket and like he pointed it out and he showed me to the seat. And then I asked him what his name was, and then straight away I've made a friend by being lost. Right? I put myself in that environment where I had no idea about the language, but I didn't care because I was passionate about wrestling. So I wanted to go there, and I knew that I would meet somebody, at least one person there, right? And that's what happened. Just by not being able to find my seat, I made a friend. So I think you need to not have that fear of, I don't speak the language, so I'm not going to go. right? You should just do it.
I see. So being able to speak the language doesn't matter.
Exactly.
なるほどね。次はその fear 恐れを持たないことで、なんとか doesn't matter っていうのはすごく便利な表現で matter. Can you spell it?
Matter.
アメリカ英語。待って、イギリス英語でやるよ。
Okay.
matter.
Matter. Nice. Yeah. Very good. Matter. M-A-T-T-E-R.
はい、アメリカ英語だと matter.
Matter.
すごいね、違いですよね。でも最近僕さ、ショーンの英語、ブリティッシュをすごい聞いてるから、こうどっか違うところでアメリカのアクセントを聞いたら、すごいなんか、はぁ、故郷みたいな、my hometown みたいな感じで。
Yeah, you've started to change some of the pronunciations of your words.
Really?
Yeah.
Like British?
Yeah.
変わってきてる？
Yeah.
Is it changing?
Yeah, really.
本当？
Yeah. I noticed it last week, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's getting used to it. That's good.
そう、僕多分さ、耳が結構柔軟、僕スポンジなんで、僕は何事もスポンジなんで結構吸収しちゃうんですよね。そう、でもなんかこうアメリカ英語をさ、例えば映画とかで聞いた時に、あ、懐かしいっていう、僕は結構アメリカ英語から勉強始まってたりもしてたので、懐かしいなと思いつつ、ね、この違いはやっぱ面白いなと、matter vs matter っていう、はい、これ何々は関係ないよっていう意味で主語に必ず入れてくださいね。なので、whether or not you can speak the language その、言語が話せるかどうかは doesn't matter 関係ないですよと。もうとにかくもう言語が話せなくてもとにかくこう突っ込んでいきましょうと。で、ショーの場合だったらスポーツイベントに行ってその座席もわからなかったと。でも大丈夫と思って行ったら人が助けてくれたりとか、そこからこう得られた経験があったりっていうことなので、海外で友達を作る場合もそうでしょうし、日本で友達を作る場合もこうhave no fear こう恐れを持たないっていうことが大切なんでしょうね。とにかく行ってみてそこでこういろいろと経験しようっていう、courage 勇気っていうものも大切なのかもしれませんね。僕さ、なんか個人的にも思ったんですけど、So Sean is really outgoing. You're really outgoing and nice person. So have you ever had any, fights or troubles with friends? 友達とさ、なんか喧嘩とかさ、トラブルしたことになったことってあるの
？Not really.
That's cool.
Yeah, because I think I always try to understand what the problem is, and I will always talk about the problem. Even if I hear like from a friend of a friend, if one of my friends say to me, "Oh, so and so is angry at you," but, oh, really? Why? What did I do? Like I want to know what I did wrong, and then once I understand, oh, they said that you did blah blah blah, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I didn't mean it like that. I didn't want them to be upset about that thing. And then after that point, I will always kind of confront them and say, oh, hey, last week when I said blah, 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 I didn't mean it like that feeling. I meant it like this. I hope I didn't offend you. I hope there's no miscommunication there. So I always try to understand, what I've done wrong to upset someone. And yeah, hopefully like vice versa, if someone upsets me, I want them to kind of ask me what they did wrong, and that kind of thing. I mean, I'm quite fortunate, I'm quite lucky that all of my friends have that same kind of understanding, I think. Yeah.
I feel like, Western people are willing to have that kind of conversation. What's wrong? And what did I do? So, that could be really important to keep the relationship good.
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
なるほどね。そう、なんか、ショーンはすごく outgoing. Can you spell it?
Outgoing. O-U-T-G-O-I-N-G.
はい、社交的で、こう、友達がすごい多いイメージがあるんですよね。で、僕と結構対照的なんですよね。僕結構友達多いように一般的に見られがちなんですけど、皆さんから。意外とそんな友達多くないんですよね。で、こうバーに行ったりとか、そういうイベントに行ったりっていう足を運んだりっていうのが すごいショーンはこう積極的だからすごいなと思ってて、でも僕の中でそんだけこういろんな人と会うとその分トラブルとかに巻き込まれることはないのかなっていうのが気になったので今この話をしてたんですけど、そういうトラブルがあった時に必ずその場で解決するようにすると、自分は何をしちゃったのかとかなんで怒ってるのっていうのを必ず confront. Can you spell it?
Confront. C-O-N-F-R-O-N-T.
どうですか皆さん、今日僕がピックアップしている単語はいいチョイスでしょうかまた教えていただければと思うんですけど、向き合うっていうような意味ですね。ちゃんとコンフロントして向き合って解決しようとする。それがこう、それも大切かもしれませんね。So to avoid any troubles、in the process of making friends, as you said, it might be important to confront.
Yeah, I
And
think so.
that could be your tip as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, talking about problems, talking about when you've upset someone, and trying to understand the other person. I think the act of kind of being responsible for your own actions, and then also being able to be sensitive and considerate towards other people's feelings is like a really strong skill to have. And it shows like that high level of maturity. And I think that is what a lot of people want in friends. People want that kind of sensitivity and understanding. So I think the more that you try to understand the other person, the better you will become as friends. Rather than saying, "Oh, he pissed me off. I'm never speaking to him again." What does that achieve? You know, now you've just lost a friend for the rest of your life, right? When all you could have done is say, "Oh, what did I do to piss you off?" "Oh, you did this." "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." Talk about it. Confront them, right?
I want to introduce the way of thinking to Japan as well. Because of course, some people do that, but not like Westerners, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because people sometimes block and they stop talking.
Yeah.
So, like in Japan, we have a kind of custom of trying to understand what he or she is feeling inside.
Yeah.
So between, for example, men and women or men and men, couples, like in Japan, girls or people tend to say, "Why don't you understand my feeling?"
Yeah. Why don't you understand my feeling? It's like it should be both ways, I think.
But we need to let it out and discuss. So I think, as Sean said, it could be really important for any relationships, between friends or between couples or something like that.
Yeah, it's not just about, romantic relationships, but also the same principle applies to friends. And that's what's important too, I think. Yeah.
この話はね、いろんなエピソードで出てきてると思うんですけど、もちろんみんながみんなじゃないのは分かってるので、また差別だとかっていうコメントはしないでいただけたら嬉しいんですけれども、僕は個人的にこう日本にいて感じるのが、やっぱり結構話し合いを避けちゃう方って僕の経験上すごい多いなって思って、結構海外の方ってこれが嫌、こうっていうはっきり言うんですよね。でもそこに悪気はなくて、結構こう改善しようと思って言ってくれてたりするんですよね。で、なぜか僕昔からそういう思考なので、結構友達とかにもこういうとこ嫌だから直してほしいとかって言ったりすると、もうそのまま結構関係が終わっちゃったりとか、結構ブロックするとかっていうのが日本で結構多いなと思うんですけど、結構外国の友達もそれを言ってるんですよね。日本の女の子とかにアプローチしようと思うと、いきなり急にブロックされると。なんで今怒ってるのかっていうのを聞いても、察してよっていう文化でもう話し合いをしてくれないっていうお話を結構聞くので、カップル間もそうでしょうし、ビジネスでも友達でもしっかりぶつけることに意味がある。で、察してよ文化は海外では結構通用しないと思うので、しっかり言う。でもそこに相手が言ってきても悪気はないっていうお互いのmutual understanding、お互いの理解があると関係ってねうまくいくのかなと思ったので、まとめると、ショーンがうまく友達付き合いをしている理由としては、ちゃんとコンフロントして話し合うところは話し合うっていうのがあるからこそ、たくさん友達がいるのかもしれないですねと思いました。
Absolutely. I guess my next kind of few tips would be about how to maintain friendships. So we've just kind of talked about how to make friends, find a similar interest, similar hobby, get out of your comfort zone. So, okay, you've made your friend now. Now the next important part is maintaining that friendship. So my next piece of advice would be to be consistent. You know, don't just invite one of your friends out for lunch one time and then never speak to them for 6 months or something. You need to be consistent. Next month I'm going to do this. Do you want to come with me? Or in March I'm planning on going blah blah blah. Do you want to come with me? Inviting people out, but then connected to being consistent. Also being persistent. So, for example, if I invite my friend out for lunch and they message me back and say, oh, sorry, I'm busy that Thursday, or I have lunch that Thursday, most people would just go, okay, stop. Right? No, just because they're busy on that Thursday doesn't mean they're not busy next Thursday, right? So be persistent and say, okay, how about next month instead? And then maybe they'll be like, oh yeah, next month I'm free on Sunday. How about Sunday? Yeah, okay, let's do it, right? Don't give up so easily, just because someone rejects your first plan. Try and figure it out. Everybody has their own lives, everybody's busy, so you need to kind of figure out the best kind of schedule for everybody, right? So yeah, being consistent and also persistent. Yeah.
But isn't it difficult in Japan to do that, like being persistent? Because, for example, in the case of the romantic situations, you ask for a date, and she might say, oh, next Sunday I'm busy. Then what about next Sunday? And I'm not free on that day.
Yeah, in that situation, because obviously you're talking about like romantic pursuing, that kind of thing. I think it's important in that situation to like read the air. I think we talked about it on our dating episode, right? Kuki or yomu. Like you have to read the room, read the air, and then if they keep saying, "Oh, I'm busy," then okay, she's not interested.
In Western countries too, they refuse like that.
Yeah, same kind of principle. Yeah. Or I guess in some cases in Western culture, they might just be straight up with you and just say, "Sorry, I'm not interested." Oh, okay, don't stop. But in terms of friendship, what's the worst that's going to happen? You want to maintain the friendship, they don't, okay, just give your time and your friendship to somebody else, but yeah, being consistent and persistent I think is quite important.
Yeah, because I was wondering about the hone and the tatemae.
Yeah.
So, because sometimes I say, for example, in Japanese, mata ao ne.
Yeah.
In Japanese.
Yeah.
Then foreigners always say,
when
are you free?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So this is Japanese, hone and tatemae.
That's
so
right,
we should stop it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can understand obviously the Japanese perspective of not wanting to upset the other person and not showing their true feelings. But have you seen the American comedy Friends?
No, but I know.
So there's one episode, I can't remember which, maybe season 3 or season 4. One of the characters, Chandler, starts dating his friend's boss, and his friend is like, "Oh my God, you can't date my boss! You can't date my boss!" He's like, "Why not? Why not?" He's like, "It's weird. Don't date my boss." He's like, "Okay, fine. I'll break up with her. I'll break up with her." And he goes, "Okay." So then he meets her and he says, "Listen, this has been really fun, but I think we need to break up." And she's like, "Oh, okay." And then at the end, for some reason, he can't help himself but to say, "Well, this was great. We should hang out again sometime." Like every time. So then she gets that hope of, "Oh, when are we going to hang out?" It's like, "No, we've just broken up." So it's just like that comedy fact of him saying, "Oh, this was great. Let's hang out again sometime," being polite. He doesn't mean it. But she takes it as, "Oh, we're going on a second date." It's like, no, that's not what he means. Yeah.
It's a joke.
It's a joke, yeah.
I see. So can you spell consistent and persistent?
Yes, so consistent, Consistent, and persistent, Persistent.
ちょっとどうですか皆さん、僕が今日ピックアップしてる単語たちはいい感じですか？分からへんな。ちょっと聞こえへんかったけど、またコメントで教えていただきたいんですけど、まずコンシステントは結構こう、話が一貫してるとか、最初から最後まで一貫性があるっていうような使い方もあるんですけれども、結構こう、継続的に続けていこうっていうことを言うときにも使ったりしますね。 例えばネイトと僕はよく言ってたのは、この podcast about this podcast we should be consistent、頑張って毎週配信コンシステントに行こうねっていうのを結構言ってました。そういう感じの使い方なので、ショーンの次のコツとして大切なのは、リレーションシップ、友達との関係をうまく続けていくためには、ちゃんと継続させる努力をすること。一回きりランチって終わるのではなく、次いつ空いてる？またランチ行かない？っていうふうに誘ったりすることっていうのと、あとは persistent っていうのは、そこにこだわるとか、くっつくとか、必要な、しつこいの意味のなんていうのかな、執念の執の必要なっていうような意味にもなるので、ちょっとネガティブに聞こえる時もあるかもしれないですけど、ちゃんとさっきの継続、もう一個はちゃんといい意味でしつこく連絡するっていうようなニュアンスだったかなと思います。来週空いてるって言って空いてないと言われれば、再来週はどうっていうふうに諦めずに、ちゃんと誘い続けることが大切。つまりまとめると、誘い続けることも大切だし、関係性を続けさせようとするこの2つが大切っていうことなので、So, Sean はよく誘う側ってことなのかな? So you always, invite people.
Yeah. I mean, I invited you to IKEA, how many times?
Four
times maybe?
そうよね。
But that was more of a miscommunication,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I said, oh, let's go to IKEA, and you said, what did you say?
Without me versus with me.
Oh, that was it, yeah, W/, right? And you thought it meant without me, but W/ means with me.
Yes.
So please go with me. So I was like, okay, how about next week?
I was wondering why he's so persistent.
Yeah. But I mean, just going back to the point of being persistent, I don't mean, like messaging someone constantly, hey, next week. No. What I mean by being persistent mainly is like taking that initiative of, let's say, for example, like I met you at a party and I thought, oh, that Sota guy, he's really cool. I want to go out for lunch with him sometime, right? Rather than just thinking, oh, should I ask him for lunch? What would he say? Oh, just ask, right? Just send you the message and say, hey, do you want to go out for lunch? What's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to say no. Okay. That's the worst that's going to happen. So, I mean, I do this all the time with my friends. If there's somebody that I like, that I get along with, I just say, hey, let's go out for lunch sometime. And then if they're free, then we go out for lunch. It's not like it's not a big deal. What's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to just say no. And be like, okay, well, just let me know when you're free. And then you put the ball in their court, and then they will message you whenever, right?
So not stalking.
Not stalking. Just invite them out, say, hey, do you want to go for lunch? Or do you want to go to the bar? What's the worst that's going to happen?
なんかすごくいいコツが分かった気がする。ショーンは結構自分から誘う側みたいですね。それが結構友達が増えてるコツなんだろうなって今見てて思いましたね。聞いてても思いましたし。で、ショーンが言ってたのは persistent っていうのはストーカーみたいにもうメッセージをしまくれっていう、僕がねしつこくとかって訳しちゃってるからあれだったかもしれないんですけど、そういう意味ではなくて例えばこの人とご飯行きたいなと思った時にって待つんじゃなくて、とにかく一回誘ってみようっていう、その persistent こだわるって意味ですけど、そこにこだわっていくことが大切ということでしたね。なので諦めずに、あるいはまあいいかなって思わずどんどん誘っていきましょうっていうのがここでの persistent な意味だと思ってくださいね。そういう意味で最近ねショーンがIKEA 行こうって一回誘ってくれてでね4回ぐらい誘ってくれたんですけど、結局ね行けてなかったんですよ。でまあ2回ぐらいはショーンが誘ってくれてたんですよね。1回ほんでごめんちょっとその日無理で、2回目誘ってくれてごめんちょっと無理ってなって、僕が時に Please go without me メッセージとかってwith ってスラッシュ W とスラッシュ入れたらwith になってwithout スラッシュ
WO
そう without の時はスラッシュと O をつけないといけないのに、僕が間違ってPlease go with me の文章になっちゃってたんですよね。そうなので僕としてはもう一人で行ってきてっていう風に言ってたつもりなのに、 なんかその Please go without me って自分で言ったつもりだったのに、それの後もずっと誘われるので、なんで彼はこんなにIKEA に persistent してるんやろと思って、なんで僕にそんなに一緒に IKEA 行きたいって言ってるんやろと思って、そう何回もその後続いて、でショーンに大丈夫だよ一人で行ってくれてって言ったら、いやだってソータが一緒に行ってって言ったからって言って、言ってへんよってなって見返したらwith と without 間違えてたっていうオチで、そうそれまで本当になんかペルシスタントだなと思ってたんですよ。IKEA に一体何があるんだろうと思ってたんですけど、まあそういう誤解もあるけれども、でもショーンはそれぐらい自分からこう誘ってくれる、だからこそ友達も多いんだろうなって思いましたね。僕的にはさ、なんか昔それを考えたことがあって、こう誘われる人っているじゃないですか。人類ってさ、多分誘う人と誘われる側に分かれてると思うんですよ。で僕は中学生ぐらいの時は誘われるのいいなと思って、誘われる人間になるために人に誘ってなかったんですよね。でそのまま中高と時間が経ちまして、誘ってくれると思ってずっと待ってたら、結局誰からも誘われず、誰からも誘われることなく、もう誘う人間にもなれず誘われる人間にもなれず、もうそのまま人生過ごしてるので、あんまり友達がいないっていう。 So when I was younger, I always got jealous of people who get invited.
Yeah.
So I was, telling myself, I should wait.
Right.
And if I keep waiting, somebody will invite me. And then I kept waiting. But at the end, nobody invited me. So I should have been the person who invites myself.
Exactly.
But I'm still jealous of people who get invited.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even in that situation, make your own plans and invite who you want, right? Rather than just waiting for somebody to invite you, you're going to be waiting forever. How do they know that you want to go, right?
Yeah.
You need to, like our first piece of advice, that initiative of
right.
like, yeah, I want to go there, so I'm going to go there, right? If somebody wants to join me, great, okay.
そう、これが大きな違いなんだなと思いました。自分から誘っていこうと。でもさ、生まれ持ってさ、待っててもさ、誘われる人って世の中いるじゃん。あれは何の違いなんだろう。So, even if people who don't invite can get invited.
Yeah.
What's going on? Why? なんで誘われないいう人はって昔よく思ってた。
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it's just some of the points that we talked about today. They've been invited out in the past, or they are proactive to invite. I mean, I've had friends. I've got a lot of friends in Japan, and I know who my friends are. Who I can say, hey, this event is happening next Sunday. Shall we go? I know that maybe 90% of the time they will say, yep, let's go. And I also know which of my Japanese friends will say, ごめんね、ちょっと忙しいその日に、okay, no problem. Like I've kind of sorted my friends to the people who are proactive and the people who are a little bit more laid back, or they don't like to go out as much. So I just always invite the same people because I know they won't turn me down. So I like those kind of people. We were talking about it before, like
Korean
my
girl.
Korean friend Suhi. There was a Blackpink concert and it was on a Sunday, and I thought, who shall I ask? And I thought I could ask this person. No, they always say no. That person, no, they will say, your place is too far or something. I'm like, okay, and I thought, Suhi. So I messaged Suhi and I said, hey Suhi, let's watch Blackpink on Sunday. Like literally within 2 minutes of sending the message, she said, let's do it, let's go, I'll bring Korean chicken, we'll have a good time. I was like, wow, yeah, that's why you need to, be more kind of proactive.
I see. That'll be the last tip. So never turn down
an invite.
Yes. turn down で断るって意味ですね。refuse って結構なんか strong な言葉なので、decline が一番丁寧かな。
Decline, it's very strong, yeah.
So, can you spell it decline?
Decline, D-E-C-L-I-N-E.
This is really kind of
strong, yeah.
Oh, decline is strong.
Yeah, I'd say it's quite strong, yeah. I have to decline your offer is, yeah.
I thought refuse.
It's probably about the
really?
same level, yeah.
So turn down.
Turn down is softer,
そうかそうか。
yeah.
ちょっと逆で覚えちゃってた。turn down と decline が結構こう拒絶するみたいな、きつい言葉なので、turn down 違う。 リフューズとリクラインですよね。なので、ターンダウンで言ってもらうと、こう丁寧に断るっていうような形で、使えるので、結構辞書とか調べてもらっても、リフューズは拒絶するとか、リクラインもこう、はっきり断るとかで出てくると思います。ちょっと僕さっき間違って解説しちゃったんですけど、そこ、注意してくださいね。で、ターンダウンだと、丁寧に断るっていう感じで、基本的に出てくるかなと思いますね。なので、ね、最後のチップとしては、こう、誘いを断るなっていうことですね。僕はもしかしたら誘いを断り続けてたから、こういう人生を歩んでるのかもしれません。なので、皆さんも、今日出てきたチップをぜひ実行していただいて、こう誘いを断らず、ショーンがなんでこんなに日本で友達多いのかっていうと、こう誘いを断ってないからっていうのもあるのかもしれませんね。はい、皆さん今日のエピソードはいかがでしたでしょうか？So about 50 minutes?
Yeah, 54.
54、1時間前に終わる。そうそう、30分ぐらいで本当は終わりたいって今日は思ってたから、そうまあそうやな、55分やけど、まあ、30分っていう風に皆さん捉えてくださいね。なので、1時間超えたら1時間、1時間前やったら30分っていう風に僕は捉えようかなと思うので、これは30分ぐらいのエピソードだったという風に僕は定義づけをしようと思います。僕は英語のソータという名前で、インスタグラム、ツイッター、YouTube やっております。インスタグラムストーリーは毎日更新してますし、ツイッターは最近毎日じゃないんですけれども、まあ、不定期では更新してます。YouTube もまた更新しますので見ていただいて、アルクの連載記事最終回が公開されております。概要欄に貼っておきますが、英語を話す上での大切な心構え、メンタルについて書いていますので、自信を持ってください。Believe in yourself について熱く書いてあるので、ぜひ皆さんそちらを見てみてください。ショーンは
Sean Bradley 1986 on Instagram。
はい、それでインスタグラム調べていただくとできますし、あとは概要欄見ていただくとね、出てくると思いますので、リンクからもぜひ飛んでみてください。では、今日も30分聞いていただいてありがとうございました。また次回のエピソードでお会いしましょう。また30分やります。ありがとうございました。30分。
バイバイ。